All right, so glad you guys tuned in. I do these every once in a while. For those of you, well, back up. We haven't met. My name's Terry, and I know we got people from all over the globe coming in, and it's kind of gotten crazy within our particular opportunity, which is a phenomenal thing. It's what you pray for, literally what you pray for in this industry. And I've said this for a long time. When you pray for rain, you got to appreciate the mud. And so it's all good. We got a lot of chaos going on, but whew, that's better than almost every other company in the industry who is just like this or going south. So we have things that we are working through, which are phenomenally good. At the end of the day, they're great. And I like to do these. I'd prefer to do these kinds of Zooms a whole lot more than we do. The reality is we got a lot of Zooms going on already, but this specifically this is my heart right here. My desire is to impact people. You guys probably know by now I'm a pastor, so for me the number one priority is people's eternal life. That's number one. Number two is how you live this life, and specifically in this business. Most of you have joined our opportunity already, and then that comes with a lot of it, just like everything else, there's what I'm going to call an IQ. Okay, so if you are really proficient in a particular industry, you have a high IQ for whatever it is you do. There are musicians, as an example. I mean, I can sing a song. If I can hear the note, I can kind of hit it, sort of. But to play an instrument, forget it. Read music, forget it. But there are some who it's like a second language. No, maybe it's their first language. They look at it and they just get it. They get it. And that's because they have a high musical IQ, if we can use that as an analogy. Some of you, it's engineering. You're very good. You can look at drawings and plans. That just escapes me. I just don't get it. And so we all have our different strengths. And as it turns out, for whatever it is, I have a very high IQ when it comes to the binary compensation plan and how to build large teams, because it comes down to building people. Building people. That's what this is all about. Now, a lot of people will come into a business like this, and what they want is to get paid. They want to get recognized. They want to hit the next rank so that people recognize them, so that they get some pats on the back. And that's the thing that drives them. Other people come in and that's, they're trying to figure it all out. They hope for success. Oh, I hope this works. I hope this works. But they don't really know what to do to make it work. And so before we get done here, and I'm thinking we'll be about 45 minutes, but there's some really cool stuff that I want to get through that will help you immensely if you desire to have greater success here. And let me just say this. Many of you may have been around this industry for some period of time and not had great success. I fully understand that, fully. Because back in my early days, I've mentioned this numerous times, but when I started in the Amway business, after watching my parents for 20 years do that, swearing I would never do what they did because I saw how hard they worked to get relatively little financial success, in my opinion, swore I'd never do it. Then I did it. And after 6 years, no days off ever, no days off after 6 years, then with horrific results. It was really bad. Think about this for a second. In 6 years, I took 0 days off, 2,200 days, no days off. 300 people had joined, 250 had quit. After 2,200 days, I've got 50 people sort of in. It was bad. Had spent way more money than I ever made by a mile. And at that point, my wife and I both decided to quit on the same day, and that was the end of that. And so I'm just telling you, I fully understand that scenario with a lot of intimacy. I've been there, okay? quit that whole thing, swore I'd never do this again. And then I was in a sales role, and then I got in a sales management role, started to lead some people. And as looking back, I realized the issue was not my work ethic. It wasn't about how hard I worked. The issue was I did not know how to build leaders. I didn't know how to build them. I wasn't a strong enough leader to go build or find other leaders. That was the problem. And as much as I wanted to help people and things like that, man, it just didn't translate. So afterwards, when we joined a travel entity and I understood the binary, I was like, oh my gosh, this is infinitely better. And I was able to take all of that practice that had no results and put it into practice in a different comp plan in the binary, which I fully got. And all of a sudden we had great success. So I'm starting there with y'all today because I know if you're in this, here's what happened. At some point, when you saw this, when you first saw it, okay? It might not have happened the moment that it was presented to you, but at some point you saw something and you saw the opportunity for either greater health or greater wealth. And it might have been for a second, it might have been for a minute, it might have been for a week, it might still be going on. You see it in your mind's eye. But for most people, they'll see something and then they'll allow their self-limiting beliefs to go to work on destroying that vision that you saw for yourself. And I hate that with everything in me. I hate that because that was me. And so I get exactly how that looks, how that feels in our life. So what my desire is to help you overcome that if you care to. So I'm going to walk through some things today, some leadership things out of the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. We're going to cover, I think, 4 or 5 laws, but I'm going to apply it exactly to this business, to exactly where you are and where you would like to be. Because I'm assuming that most of you didn't join the business opportunity to just be a bronze and do nothing else, one left, one right. I assume that you would like more success than that. And so in doing that, we have to understand there is a mindset that goes along with having greater success. So I'm going to be walking through this. This is good. This is recorded, so you can go back and look at this, but I'm pretty darn stoked about it, just keeping it really real, which I'm stoked about a lot of things in my life. But let's just get after it here. Okay. There we go. Sorry, we'll get rid of you. Oh, yeah, we're coming back to you. All right. So here's the deal. We are going to cover the law of addition, the law of solid ground, the law of respect, and the law of intuition. These are not in order. That you don't have to. If you guys have never read this book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell, I highly, highly, highly recommend. You can get all of it's on here. It's on the web, for crying out loud. So I am going to start with the law of intuition because it underscores what I'm talking about right now. And then we're going to come back, cover the law of addition, solid ground, and respect. Because these things, if you're going to build teams, if you're going to have influence, and at the end of the day, influence, right here, leadership is influence, nothing more. That is what leadership is. The ability to influence other people into action, okay? That's what that is. So let's talk about the law of intuition. Why? Because in this particular industry, when you come in, when you come in, everybody has a different level of this. This goes back to the IQ that I talked about. You may have a high IQ when it comes to this industry. You might have a low IQ. We don't know until we enter the industry. But what we do know is as you are around more, as you're around more people and you learn more, experience more, your IQ goes up. That's kind of self-evident. But let's look at what the, okay. Sorry, gang. Link is in the link is in the page I sent. So Maxwell says every person possesses intuition. Everybody. People are intuitive in their area of strength. This is what I'm talking about. Intuition, IQ, however you want. The intuition is different though. And this is the challenge when you join a business like this, you probably don't have a strong intuition. You've got to lead people. There got to be people on your team to even understand a lot of these things. So in the beginning, what I'm asking you to do is trust that as we're sharing, those of us who have been around this for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I'm asking you to trust that when we say things, we know what the heck we're talking about. Not because we're so good, but because we've had a lot of experience both winning and failing. I mean, a lot of experiences. I don't know how many tens of thousands of conversations I've had, but it's surely tens of thousands, whether it's from the pastoral standpoint, the business standpoint, the network marketing standpoint, just the personal standpoint, lots of conversations, okay, lots. And so as a result, there's an intuition that goes along. In this business, it's very easy. I can tell everything that's going on in my organization. So right now, don't get freaked out about the numbers. I'm trying to give you an understanding. We've got about 15,000 people on the team, okay, the two different teams. And in those 15,000, if I go to Facebook and the back office, it tells me almost everything about the temperature of the whole team. That might sound crazy, but I'm telling you that when I look at the back office and I see what's happening, and I can look at Facebook real quick because people's posts and things like that, I can look at that and fully see what's happening on the whole team. Now, that's because I have an intuition about it, because I've been doing this been around it for 50 years. I've been watching people, involved with people. So here's why I'm saying all that. The law says that using intuition, leaders evaluate everything with a leadership bias. This is the big deal. If you've not trained yourself or grown yourself as a leader, you won't even have this. You got to start to grow as a leader. The law of intuition is based on facts and instinct, as well as other ever-changing factors such as employee morale or morale in our organizations. Organizational momentum, oh yeah, momentum can be your friend or your worst enemy. If you have it, it's phenomenal. If you don't have it, it sucks. Relational dynamics. What's going on with the people? Are we all loving each other? Oh, yeah. Or is there a little bit of infighting? Did you see what they did? Oh my gosh. Did you see the post that they just made? All that kind of stuff. Okay. All relational dynamics. Out of all the leadership skills one can develop over time, intuition may be the hardest because it relies on more than just leadership experience. 1000%. It has a lot to do with your natural aptitude for seeing all these factors at once and naturally discerning possible actions and probable outcomes. Here's the way I translate that. When we make choices, we spend a lot of time talking with corporate about what's going to happen next, what we're rolling out now, when we roll out whatever. There are still two major things we still have not yet rolled out. And here's one of the reasons: we have to apply human nature to everything that happens in this business. And if you don't understand what human nature is like, then people might just make decisions that don't work out real well. So we spend a lot of time talking through it, praying through it, asking for wisdom on it before we ever truly roll things out. Sometimes we might work in a certain area, trying something out before we launch it to the whole team. Little things, because this part right here, got to be able to see all the factors. Maxwell says that intuitive leaders, they tune in to their leadership dynamics. Many leaders describe this as an ability to smell things. It's just like you can tell something has changed. You can feel it over time. They can sense people's attitudes. That's exactly correct. They're able to detect the chemistry of a team. They don't need to sift through stats, read reports, or examine a balance sheet. They know the situation before they have all the facts. That is the result of their leadership intuition. Now, if you've not led in your life very many people, this is going to be something you need to grow into. If you care to, in a business like this, it is all about leadership all the time. Okay. And I'm starting here because when I go back to the other three that we're going to look at, it will explain exactly why those are so important and how we go about those. So right here, this ability is one that is either natural or must be nurtured. That's what I'm talking about. And for many people who refuse to grow as a leader, it means they will never have this ability. Okay, you get to choose whether you grow as a leader or not. Look, if you have kids, you're a leader. Now, the question is, have you led well or poorly in your life? If you've got one person following you, you're a leader. Are you leading well or poorly? You get to make that choice. We all get to make that choice. How are we leading? How are we showing up? How is my attitude when I'm talking to the people in my organization? How is my attitude in life? How do I show up on social media? All these things matter. Though if you look at leaders and their posts, they tend to post everything that gives value. Value, value, value. We're going to talk about the law of addition. It's all about adding value to other people, not complaining. So developing this intuition through experience and growth is invaluable. Whenever leaders face a problem, they automatically measure it, begin solving it. This is the law of intuition. So this is this part right here, intuition. It matters. If you don't have it and haven't ever had to use it, it's something you get to choose to grow in. I know for me, long time ago, when I was in my late 20s, my life was a complete disaster. I was living in my truck, and really, truly, everything I had done in my 20s was a total lie, a total sham. Everything I did, I was very selfish, very egotistical, and lied all the time, okay? And so when I got to be about 28, 29 years old, God just knocked the crap out of me. And I was laying there going, well, can't get much lower than this. I can either stay here or I can get up and change my life. And my mom actually sent me a tape set called The Strangest Secret in the World and the book Magic of Thinking Big. And that began my personal / leadership development journey. And I dove into that because what I had done my whole life was absolutely not working. But I had to come to the realization that I had to grow if I wanted different results in my life. And so at that point, I became voracious. I needed more and more and more. And back in the day, for you young people, we used to have something called cassette tapes. And you guys don't know about that now, but I used to listen to tape after tape after tape after tape over and over and over and over and over again. I'd read book after book after book after book, and it was all kinds of books, all about leadership, all about mindset, all that stuff. I just took it in, could not get enough. Why? Because I wanted to grow as a leader. My result, and then this is when the Amway thing happened. And it was horrifically bad. Even with all of that, I'm reading books, I'm listening to tapes, I'm going to the events, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm showing it. Good God, it was awful. And so I'm like, what the heck? But I just needed to grow. Some of you may have the same scenario. Now, this guy right here, or Fix right here, it changes a lot of things, okay? It changes a lot of things. Zoom changes a lot of things. But the beauty of Zoom is that we can connect with a lot of people all over the globe very quickly. The downside of Zoom is we can connect with a lot of people all over the globe very quickly. And you don't have to necessarily grow as a leader to get people on a Zoom, okay? That's why I like doing these, because we're not in touch with people. God's wired us to be in community, and we're not really doing that on Zoom. This is why we do events like we're doing this coming weekend in Minneapolis. This is why we're going to continue to do events. This is why we're going to get to cities and start doing whatever weekend events. I don't know what you want to call it. We don't have a name for it yet, but we need to connect with people. And I want to invest in people so they can grow as leaders. So let's continue on. All right. The law of addition simply says this: leaders add value by what? Serving others. Maxwell says that we add value when we truly value them and intentionally make ourselves valuable to them. This is exactly what I was saying. The post that leaders typically add value to people's lives. Why? Because it's a character of a leader. Servant leadership. You serve, then lead. And here's the thing, those who come in here, particularly, and you'll hear this a lot for those of you who have some good sized teams, people will see, they'll understand this thing about the binary. I be put on the team leg. I deserve the team leg because they know they're going to get, well, they believe they're going to get spillover. Now, they have no idea what's happening up above them, but that's what they want. Then you have the people that say, well, I'm just going to build my inside team because everybody else is going to build my team leg. Okay. Every time I hear that, I just want to slap that person, because what that is absolute selfishness. Absolute selfishness. Because think about it. If everybody upline just built their inside team, nobody's building the team leg. So you got to understand the words that come out of people's mouth tell us about their heart. Oh boy. And people are telling us who they are all the time. We need to believe them. They will tell you by their actions who they are. Watch and believe them, because that's who they are. So here, if you will make the choice to provide value to people, how does that look, Terry? Like, go learn the comp plan for yourself instead of just asking a question about it every once in a while because you don't understand. Go learn it. It's right. I did a video on this, and I'm going to post it right here in the group, because where did I put that? Ace right here. Going to come in here. I did a get paid video right here. I did this. So here's what I'm going to do. Get paid in there. I copy link. I did a comp plan overview. And let me go over here to the chat, post this in the chat. Here we go. I'm posting it right in there. Every one of you on here, bang. Now you have it. It's right there in the chat. And so, so right now you can go look at that. I've sent this out. I send it out regularly on the different Telegram groups and messenger groups that I'm in. I send this out regularly. Why? Because we have new people coming in all the time. They're always coming in. So I know this. So I want to give people the opportunity to learn how to do that. So that was just one example. Why do we put 3 to the team instead of 1 left, 1 right? That's my suggestion. Some people choose not to do that. Great, it's your business. I'm just telling you the better way to do it is 3 to the team and 1 on the inside. And if you don't understand that, you should watch the videos. If you don't understand that, ask somebody upline. If somebody upline is telling you something different, that's their choice. I'm telling you, with 50 years around the industry, understanding the binary for the last 30 years, I understand what the heck I'm talking about when it comes to the binary. So I'm trying to help people help themselves by giving these tips. That's all in the get paid video. All of it's there in that link. So you can choose to do it your way, or you can choose to believe the people that have the fruit on the tree. That's all I'm saying. So he says here, 90% of all people who add value to others do so what? Intentionally. Yes, it's an intentionality. I want to help people grow. I can't help all 10,000, 15,000 people on the team grow at one time because I can't talk to them all. So what am I doing? I am trying to find anchors, okay? When you start looking at the binary tree, we are building outside left and outside right. That is your mission. Should you choose to accept it or not? Your mission is how fast can you get 100 deep here and 100 deep here? Now, you might think differently than that. That's okay. I'm telling you, though, the best way to do this is to get very busy putting as many people in on your outside left and outside right as fast as humanly possible. And so if you'll do that, everything else will take care of itself. And here's what's going to happen. People will choose to start building their inside team. And I'm telling you, 3 to the team, 1 inside, they'll choose to start building inside. And you'll see them. They'll start hitting ranks. They'll hit platinum. Oh, wow, they got 12 people on their team. Man, that's somebody I should be working with. They'll hit sapphire. That's because they've got a team here of 25. Let's go to number 5 here. 2,500 points here, 2,500 points here. Hey, man, that's somebody that's probably about this. I want to know who they are. I have a sapphire group, Telegram group. If you're a sapphire, I want you in the Telegram group because I communicate different things to the sapphires than I do to everybody else. And then as they keep growing and keep moving up the ranks, those are people I want to be sure I'm connected with to the best of my ability. Can't connect with all of them, but I'm trying to connect in a group. In your world, it might be 5 or 7 people. Great. Start there. Ask, what do they want? We're going to get to it here in just a sec. How do I add value to people? Right here. So the most helpful way we do this is to actually what? Get to know the people we are leading. Who thought that was a good idea? Find out their priorities, goals, hopes, and dreams. Then figure out what that's right, we collectively can do to assist them in getting where they need to go. Yes. help enough other people get what they want, you'll get everything you want. Inexperienced leaders, here we go. Inexperienced leaders are quick to lead before they know anything about the people they intend to lead. Not a good plan. Mature leaders listen, learn, then lead. These things right here, guys, incredibly valuable. Incredibly. This is truth on steroids. And most people, they just want to get further ahead, but have no concept of how to go help people. So back to the IQ I started with. Every one of you has a high IQ in something. I have very few high IQs. I get it in the Bible, preaching, teaching, and the binary. That's like my high IQ areas. And so fortunately, that'll work out in the end because that's the way God wired me. God wired you, however he wired you, to have a high IQ in whatever you have a high IQ in, but we can all grow. Just because we don't have a high IQ doesn't mean we can't grow in those areas. So let's get to the last two of these. Check it out. The law of solid ground. Here we go. Here's why this part right here, if you're inexperienced people are inexperienced leaders are quick to lead before they know anything about the people they intend to lead. Okay, why does that matter? The law of solid ground. Trust is the foundation of leadership. It takes a long time to build trust. It can be lost in one statement. Trust is massive in leading people. Massive. Here's why a lot of people, listen in. Here's why a lot of people won't lead large organizations. They do not want people to know who they really are. They don't want those character flaws, those habits, those things that only they know about. They don't want those exposed. So they will intentionally self-sabotage so that they're not exposed, because the law of solid ground talks about trust. And you have to be willing and able to trust somebody. They build your trust over time. This is perhaps the greatest challenge leaders face in the 21st century. Too many people are disillusioned with leaders because they are self-serving leaders and have too often abused it. This is the thing. If you're all about you, I need more recognition. I need to get to the next rank. If that's you, that's self-serving leadership. That's going to be a very short-lived thing. Trust then is the most important element in leadership. If you do not have trust, you have nothing to offer. So we are always trying to build trust. I'm trying to add value to people all the time. Now, we have all kinds of different levels of understanding of the business. Some people got in yesterday. Some people have been around the industry 30 years. And so how do we take all of that and help everybody at the same time? Very, very, it's challenging. But if you're just starting here, if you don't have thousands of people on your team, but you're leading 5 or 10, great, start there. Get to know them. What is it they want in their life? How can you help them? If you don't understand how to build this, you're not going to be able to tell them how to build this. So how do you learn how to build this? By doing things like this right here. Watch the videos. And I know what you're probably going to say. They're all in Reset and Win. Every one of them is in Reset and Win. All the videos, we have them all in ACE. ACE is a marketing platform that allows us to send them all out. Reset and Win is a repository that houses all of the training videos. So it's all available to you. And, oh, by the way, every one of those tapes and books and events that I went to that I was telling you about when I had zero success for 6 friggin' years and just every day was all about it every day, I bought every one of those books out of my pocket and all the tapes and all the events. I bought it all. So when somebody says $5 for Reset and Win, oh my God, okay, give me a break. If you want the information, it will pay you way, way, way more than the $5 you're going to spend to get access to it all. It's $5 because it costs a lot of money to have the platform. That's the bottom line. And the more we have in there, the more it costs. So just so you guys, and I'm not, just so you know, I'm not Reset and Win. Byron and Jim, that's their thing. I'm in there like everybody else. So just so you know. All right. Law of solid ground. Trust is a foundation. Okay, so here we go. Maxwell says that we build trust by what? Consistently exemplifying competence, connection, and character. Yes, the most important of these is character. Who you are matters more than what you know. But if you don't know enough to lead people, they will stop following you. They might like you, they'll be friends, but they aren't going to follow you if you're not competent. You got to learn how to do this. You got to learn what this is all about. That's why I do the videos I do. In the get paid video that I put in there, I'm telling you, if you will just learn that, it will serve you really, 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 really well. By making sound decisions and by admitting their mistakes, by putting what's best for what? Their followers and the organization ahead of their personal agendas. That's what servant leadership is. Putting others ahead of ourselves. This is hard for some people because they've never had to do that. Maybe you grew up as an only child. I'm not talking to anybody in particular, but if you grew up as an only child and you got everything you want, it's going to be hard for you to put other people's needs ahead of yours. You're going to have to learn how to do that. But it pays you really, really well to do that. And you're very fulfilled by doing that. Because a lot of people chase success. I need success, whatever success is in your mind. Once somebody gets there, hopefully, prayerfully, that success gives way to chasing significance. And significance is all about how many other people can we bring along with us? How many people can we bring? This is because why they won't give up their personal agendas. This is because no leader can break trust with his people and expect to keep influencing them. Boom. That's it right there. Once you break trust, people are gone. And again, the character is the biggest part of that. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. This is where I started. Last one here, then we'll have some Q&A. The law of respect. All right, listen, gang, I'm going to tell you that in our industry right now, there are a lot of people who have had big success in their particular business or businesses. Lots of them. Very few of them. I would guess less than 5%, less than 5% are making more today than they were making pre-COVID. Less than 5%. I'll bet less than 3%, maybe less than 1%, but let's give it 5%. So that means anybody who is, and throw out a number, making $5,000 a month or more is not making that today in their same opportunity because everything has changed. Everything. So this part right here, the law of respect. Why am I bringing that up? Listen. Similarly to the necessity of trust is the necessity of respect. The law of respect reminds us people naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. These people that have had big success are looking for leaders that are stronger than them, so that when they have this conversation, when they see this person, meet with this person, whatever it is, they believe that person can get them where they want to go. And if they've had big success and you're not the person yet that they will follow, you can get them to somebody else in your line of support who can. Those people, every one of them, regardless of what their rank is, that person should be willing to help you if you bring somebody that has had, greater success than you. That's what servant leadership is all about. That's what putting the needs and the desires of others ahead of ours is all about. I spend the majority of my Zooms today on Zooms with leaders from companies who are doing, this is exactly the conversation, because they want to talk to somebody who they understand has had success, enough success that they are willing to buy into the opportunity. They don't need to buy into you necessarily. They need to buy into the opportunity. But if you have not yet grown into the leader who commands the respect of stronger leaders, so there's a whole thing, and there's a whole one of the other laws here, and law of the lid. And you might be a level 5 leader, just for numbers. And if you go read the book, you'll understand this. But if somebody's a level 8 leader, they're not following a level 5. They're going to look for a 9 or a 10. That's what they're looking for. So just use the support system that you have to ensure that if you find those strong leaders, get them to somebody who is somebody at their level, or I'm just going to say somebody they're willing to follow. Let's say that. One of the greatest potential pitfalls for natural leaders is relying on talent alone. Good leaders rely on respect. And so we have a lot of people, a lot of strong leaders, big leaders, network marketers in companies outside of ours, making big checks. but they are already in our binary. They're in the teams somewhere. Now, nobody knows that because we respect them enough to not mention their names, because we gave them that, our word on that, that they could join, get a spot, and stay incognito. That's part of the respect. And so there's going to come a time, though, here, I'm thinking November, when things are going to change. And a lot of those people are going to get very loud and vocal about Marketplace Global. They understand that all leadership is voluntary. Yes, it is. Leadership is taken, not given. Ever. Somebody takes leadership. They do not, it's not given. I don't say to somebody, here, you're a leader now, go lead your team. I don't do that. I show them how to do it by doing it. And they take leadership from me, which is what you should be endeavoring to do. From the people, if you've got people upline that are working in your team, and just so you know, everybody's got 2 teams. Everybody's got to build 2 teams. And so if those teams are mine, great. I'm on somebody's team, great. I'm in my business. I work on my business. You should have the same mindset. Work on your business. How does that look? Sometimes that means working on you is what that looks like, because you are your business. That's a big deal. That's part of it, that you got to grow you. That's what this is all about. Because as you grow as a leader, stronger leaders will follow you. When they respect you as a friend, they love you. When they respect you as a leader, they follow you. That goes back to this character thing. They might like you. You might be a really great person, all those things. You have great character, great. They'll be friends. But if you're not competent, if you're not a leader, if they don't believe you can get them where they want to go, they're not following you. They're looking for another leader. The opposite is true as well. As soon as people lose respect for you, your influence over them will disappear. Back to the law of solid ground. That's why these things are so important, guys. And so, again, you can go all that. I just went and Googled this, just so you know. So it's all right there. And we'll cover these in other segments. That was a lot for right now. But now let me bring this back to why this matters. All right. This right here, I can't express to you how important it is that you understand this part right here. This, you got to understand, you have 2 teams, right? A left and a right. It does not matter ever. If somebody comes in and they have 4 million people that join and they're on an inside team, all 4 million count for you. Okay, so your job, our job, again, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get at how fast can I build to 100 levels deep. And when I get to 100 levels deep, I am not retiring, okay? I'm now, how fast can I get another 100 levels deep? For me, I want to get teams to 1,000 levels in deep, because I want to have 10,000 people on each team. As soon as my teams, as we got things really rolling in Africa, and I knew we were going to get to 10,000, maybe this month, on that short team, I'm like, oh, snap, I got to get to the left team and get that thing to 10,000. That's my goal. Don't let the numbers freak you out. My point is, I have a picture of what I'm going to do. I need to go work. There are leaders over here that I need to go work with. So I pick up the phone and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Leader, this is Terry. How are you? How can I help you? What is it you would like? What are you trying to accomplish here? Tell me your story. What's your background? Why are you in this? What do you want? I'm having that conversation. And many of you on here, you know, I've had that conversation with you. And I do that a lot. I just did a 2-hour Zoom with a couple of gals the other day. And that's the conversation. One of the gals had some questions, big successful, been successful in the industry. But my question is, tell me your story. I want to know who you are, because that tells me a lot. So these are the things, guys, that if you will stop, those things that I just covered, those 5 laws that I just covered, they matter. And they're laws because they always work. So as we come in here and start to build in our teams, I am looking for anchors, okay? Anchors. As you put people in, and this is the thing, if you've got 5 or 6 people in on your team, let's come on down here. I'll go to the next slides. Let's move on past. Holy cow, check that out. I did this back in January. Look at the number. That's almost 9,000 people now. It was 100 in January. 100 people in January. And this one over here is coming up on 6,500. Now, look, that didn't just happen by accident, okay? Just saying. Things change in a hurry because of this guy right here, and we all have that opportunity. So look, as you put people in, Tom and Mary, you personally sponsor Tom and Mary, that's your team. Those are your children, okay? But the person that gets put in on your team and spillover, that's part of your team too. Guess what? You're going to get paid on everything that person does. You should want to know them. You should know who that person is. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Upline, who put them in, who is this person? Can I help? What can I do? Okay, we keep building. How's the best way to help them? Put people in. Always deeper and deeper. How fast can I get 100 levels deep? Whether it's me putting people in, me helping other people, in this case, the red, Tom puts 1A in. That's me trying to get 100 levels deep by helping Tom put people in, first 3 to the team leg, or Mary, or I put my own personal Steve in here. And that just keeps going. That is what this is all about. And the more people you can connect with in here, and there's a limit, don't get me wrong, but you're looking for the leaders to emerge. And the leaders are the people who start to build their inside team as well. And now you're like, hey, we got something right here. And then our goal, again, get 100 levels deep left, 100 levels deep right, and the leaders will emerge. And as the teams get bigger, you start to form these bonds way early on when they first got in. And now you work as a team to go build this. That's all in the Get Paid video on how to build, how to get paid long-term here. So the reason I'm going through the leadership deals here, all these concepts, is because that's all this is about. It's it. And your belief in your ability to be successful here translates to other people. If you don't have that belief, that translates as well. The one who believes most wins. And right now, you guys, this guy right here is winning big. I was on the call yesterday with a guy who will remain nameless, had a lot of success in the industry, retired from the industry. He was done with MLM, done with MLM. He saw this. He was back in MLM because he saw what this is, because that's the thing. The big successful networkers, they get this in a heartbeat. They look at it. This is why they got their names. That's why they're in the binary. Nobody knows it yet, but they look at it and they go, daggum, that's really good. This is going to be big. I'm in. I'm going to stay over here doing my thing because I need my check because I still got to get paid. But there's going to come a day when I'm going to leave that and start to build over here. I'll build quietly over here because they see this and it's a different animal altogether. So anyway, let's see. I'm looking, just checking the chat over here. Yeah. Oh, thanks so much, bro. Yes, got it. Okay, good. Okay, real quick. What can we do for? Okay. 20 field belongs, yes, something. Okay, cool. So real quick, I'm going to dare to do this as I typically do. Let me just, I'll leave the recording on. I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions on leadership. Okay. Do not ask me back office questions. Do not ask me customer service questions. Okay. Leadership type questions. How can I help my organization grow? Here's where do I go for this information? Those things about leadership. That's what this is about. And if you have questions, give me a virtual hand raise and I'll call on you. Yes, Nora.
Hey, Terry. I'm
Yo.
just wondering, where do I find that Reset and Win platform? I'd like to join.
Yeah. So go to, hang on, got to get over there. I am going to paste it in the Zoom chat. Here we go. And there we go. There you go.
Thank you so much.
You bet. You bet. Oh, thank you, Leanne. Sorry, I didn't see that. All right, awesome. All right, anybody else? Happy to answer questions. Editable PowerPoint. Yeah, I saw your text earlier, Monica. I mean, I do have a PowerPoint. It's different than what you see us do every day, but it doesn't really matter. Honestly, guys, I do the presentation without slides a lot. And so the slides are just like pictures to keep people's attention, to be candid with you. But I know I got a guy that's wrapping up a Spanish presentation now, Monica. But I'll still get you the PowerPoint if you guys want to do that. Portuguese would be great. Not that we're open in Brazil, everybody. Okay, we're not open in Brazil. Oh, not open in Brazil. Don't get ahead of me. So, but hey, Mozambique, probably coming. Okay, how do you lead someone who's more successful than you have been in the past? Right. So this is why this opportunity is so good. So what people are doing, this is what I'm saying, they get to somebody else upline. As long as the leader, that strong leader that you're talking to, who you might feel has had more success than you, then as long as they get connected to somebody upline and they know who that person is and they know they've got a connection there, all good, no problem. They know what to do. The ones that have been successful, they know what to do. And I'm not trying to make everybody do exactly what we do. I want to give leaders the ability to lead. As a matter of fact, I have a Telegram group. I would love for everybody on my team to be in that Telegram group, but that's not the case. Why? Because the people who are leading, who are growing and growing big teams, they have their own groups. And I'm in the groups. So, but I'm watching what's going on there, but they're leading their teams. They're the ones that are the leaders. And that's what you're looking for. When you start looking for the anchors that I talked about, these guys right here, man, when I find the leaders, all I want to do is encourage them. How can I help? I want to help you be a bigger leader. What's next? How can I help? I'm just trying to add value in there. And if things get a little wonky, I'll help. I can edify leaders as well that are on the team. We can't edify ourselves. That's not something, I mean, it sounds really arrogant when you try to edify yourself. And so you got to have somebody else to be able to edify you. So when I find the anchors, man, those are the ones that I'm trying to help them. How can I help you grow? How can I help you grow? And if you have people like that on your team, to that question, if you've got strong leaders that have come in, man, make sure you're getting them connected to your line of support. Because I'm just telling you guys, we're going to have lots and lots and lots of them. Lots. And so, so just so you know, this is the reason I'm covering this today is because November is going to be a completely different month. I've been saying this since we were doing NDA Zooms. Most of you weren't even in back then, back in early June. But it became clear that law of intuition is that part right there. Because you could see as the testimonies began to grow and grow and grow and grow. And the product, this extract in here was having greater and greater effect on more and more people. Social media would start to overwhelm people. And here's what I mean by that. When somebody sees one person make a post, they see somebody else, somebody else that's not connected to either of those, they're going, huh. About the fifth time they see somebody, and remember, 3 degrees of separation. What that means is if you took 3 people, 3 random people on the planet, and all their connections to everybody they knew, you would get all the way around the world. 3 people, that's 3 degrees of separation. That's what that means. It's because of social media. So now, when they see the 5th one, all of a sudden they're going, daggum, I have missed something. And they are compelled to reach out. They're compelled to. So this is what it was going to take time. So that started we didn't even allow social media in June and July. Well, I guess mid-July people started. So then it started to filter. And now we've got all kinds of social media happening and it's building on each other. Not only that, but now we've got all these ranks happening as well. We've got people that have come in and in 2-3 months are making 10, 20, 30, 40,000 a month in 2 to 3 months. Now that's starting to become a reality. People are hearing these things. They're seeing them from outside. And that's why it was going to take through this month for all that to happen. It was just going to build on each other. And by the time November happens, after our event next weekend, and people start to see the social piece of this, and a couple of other announcements are made and some things happen, they're going to see and realize there is a phenomenal opportunity here. The rest of the industry is flat. They're going to start coming in droves. November, mark my words. You can mark it down. It's right around November 10th. Go, was Terry right? Put a note there. Was Terry right? Let's see. But this is why this conversation is so important, because some of those people are going to show up on your team somewhere, whether it's in Spill or in what we call Lineage, doesn't matter. Right or left, doesn't matter. So anyway, guys, anybody else? Any questions before we wrap it up? Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. Live in Mexico 6 months of the year. We open. Well, Bonnie, I see your question. We are open in Mexico. We just don't have Fix there yet. But I'm just going to say there are. Hang on. See what the heck I'm doing here. Sorry.